Hello, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency, devoted to promoting musicians and authors worldwide. Call us today at 941-877-1552 to start your free publicity evaluation. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. Please welcome the host of Interviewing the Legends, music journalist, author, and entrepreneur, Ray Shasho.
Hello once again, everyone. I'm your host, Ray Shasho, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends on BBS Radio, brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call us today at 941-877-1552 or email us at publicityworksagency.com. Remember, we shine only when we make you shine. There are songs you hear in your life that transport you to a certain time period or give you a special feeling. You associate those good times to the group that made them famous. Songs like I'd Really Love to See You Tonight, Nights Are Forever Without You, and Love Is the Answer. My personal favorite have that kind of effort on people. Those songs and numerous others have made John Ford Coley a singing legend. He has spent decades touring, writing, recording, and producing. John is most revered as half of the Grammy-nominated duo England Dan and John Ford Coley. He continues with an active roster, performing the platinum and gold records for audiences around the world. Classically trained on piano and an avid guitarist, John loves the craft and enjoys every audience he encounters. John recorded a live album while he was on tour in the Philippines with many of the hits, while also recording a CD entitled The Best of John Ford Coley. John's most recent CD is entitled Eclectic and contains all new material for an acoustic Americana album, available now at Amazon.com. I'd Really Love to See You Tonight appeared in the film Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson. And his and England Dan Seal's song Simone was figured in the HBO's Vinyl series, where two actors portrayed John and Dan in the studio singing the song. In between the extensive road duty, John lives in the Nashville area, as well as the Charleston, South Carolina area, with his family, where he's penned a book on his years in the music industry entitled Backstage Pass. John Ford Coley is currently on tour on two separate tours, and one with Rock the Yacht 2019 featuring Ambrosia, Stephen Bishop, lead singer from Player Peter Beckett, Water Egan, and Looking Glass. Please welcome singer, songwriter, guitarist, pianist, actor, author, and co-founder of music legends England Dan and John Ford Coley, John Ford Coley, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, John.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. I had to shorten that intro because you've done so much.
Well, you know what? I think the name of the group actually was not. I think you said England Dan, John Ford Coley. I think the name of that group actually was Mexican Dan and Juan Queso Frijoles. That was the real name. Or English Danny and John Portfolio, one of them. I forget.
You know, you guys such a great name, man. Especially for like a Western movie. You could play the hero or the bad guy.
That's right. And that was my goal, you know, because I can switch out and nobody knows which one I am that particular day.
That's right. Sounds like a sheriff and sounds like a bad guy.
Absolutely.
How's the tour coming along?
Tour's going great. We're having a lot of fun. Had good audiences. Playing with Stephen Bishop, like you said, Elliot Louie from Looking Glass, Ambrosia, just a phenomenal band. I've played with those guys. I met them back in the Philippines in like 2000. We've been working together ever since. Had Peter Beckett from Player, the voice of Player. Who else have we had on this thing? Water Egan. And I think we're going to be doing also one with Danny Lane from Wings and, you know, Paul McCartney and all those years.
Oh, wow.
So he's now a rock and Roll Hall of Famer, the Moody Blues.
That's right.
So it's been a lot of fun.
I love these package tours. You know, I've covered Hippie Fest. I've covered the one with the Turtles, and you know, and also Ringo and his All-Star Band. I've covered all those shows. They're a lot of fun. It's the best way to showcase that music, I think. You know.
Well, you know, you get a lot of songs, and the thing that's interesting is that somebody might come to it for a particular artist and they've never heard of me, and then all of a sudden they like me. So, you know, you're exposed to a lot of different kinds of music, and it really is kind of a walk down memory lane. I mean, because there's so many acts, you only get so many songs, so I normally play 4, and then I go back and just eat.
It must be great to hang out with the bands, you know, a lot of the bands you knew from way back when, you know?
Absolutely. Well, you know, you've got a lot of shared history. You've got a lot of people that, you know, connected us all up.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to go down that lane a little bit and discuss some of those things.
You got, I was looking at your tour schedule. You're playing also a show, I think, with the Orleans, right? Down the road?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing over in Missouri with them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Orleans is a great band. As a matter of fact, when we did the first show of the rock tour, it was Orleans that was the backing band. And on that one, we had Gary Wright and Christopher Cross and Fireball.
Wow.
Steve Peter was on that one. Sometimes Al Stewart. I mean, it was they put in some good acts.
Yeah, I know the guys from Firefall real good. I had them all on the show, and I knew Orleans. And as a matter of fact, Orleans played a outdoor show here in Sarasota, and it's such a sad thing what happened to Larry, you know?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I played with Larry on a solo show about a month and a half, 2 months before he passed away.
Yep.
And I did not expect Larry to go.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's totally shocked me.
Yeah. And I tell you, it's really funny because I still use Larry as a wonderful example.
Right.
Because Larry and I were complete polar opposites politically.
Uh-huh.
And so we would sit there, and we were friends, you know, so we would sit there and we would argue, go back and forth, and then finally one of us would go, hey, you want to have a beer? Yeah, let's go. You know, we're talking about music. He respected my opinion, I respected his. We just discussed stuff, you know, but we were friends, so it's like we just happened to sit on opposite aisles.
That's the way it should be, you know?
I think, yeah. I think so. I remember one time there was a thing that happened, and John Hall from Orleans had been a congressman at one point.
Yep.
And so I just didn't want to get into it because I don't like discussing politics with people.
Right.
And so one day I sat down. I would avoid him. I sat down after sound check to eat, and son of a gun, if he didn't sit down right next to me, I thought, oh gosh, man, no. And so he kind of starts talking the political, and I thought, okay, heck with it, man, let's just get into it. We talked. We agreed on about 90% of the stuff that we were supposed to not agree on. I mean, it was really funny. We got to be good buddies, you know. So that was a fun time.
You know, that's the same thing that happened to me. I had him on the show, and I was saying, "Oh hell," you know, let's not get too much into politics. I was trying to avoid it, and then we started talking, and you know, he's a smart guy. He knows, and we agreed on a lot of things as well. You know, he's a racquetball player, which I am. You know, I invited him to play racquetball. But, you know, I'm going to mention the guy I can't stand, and I saw in an interview, you know, he was there on YouTube, John, and he was there with Stephen Stills. I don't think I could ever talk to Stephen Stills. That guy's I'm going to say he's a jerk-off.
Well, I tell you what, I couldn't talk to Stephen Stills because he married a Very Sanson.
Right.
The Very Sanson was one of my favorite French artists, and he kind of made me mad that he married her. I could have done that.
Yeah, he knows nothing about politics. You know, the whole time, you know, he was just going off about things that don't even exist. You know, like You know, it's like the Tea Party.
Well, there you go. That's the system we all live under.
Exactly, which is sad. I don't mind arguing or talking to somebody on the other side as long as they know what they're talking about, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Well, you had an interesting beginning. I mean, you were actually in a psychedelic band, right?
So we started off playing things like the Beach Boys and you know, all the current stuff that was then. And then we graduated up to the soul era with, you know, Wilson Pickett and all that, changed the names of the band. And then it ended up, you know, being, because we were a cover band in essence, and playing all the songs that were current. So we're playing all of the psychedelic stuff. Then Dan and I actually ended up kind of playing fusion jazz. But I tell you a funny story on that. When I was in the group of Southwest FOB,
right,
it was still the same group of all the years that we just changed names. And so we did a song. We played with a group at a place called Lumen, and it's called the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band. And they played a song called Smell of Incense.
Right.
We really liked it. So we adopted that song, got it, learned it, and actually made somewhat of a hit out of it. We got to like number 60 in the nation or something like that. It was kind of our small claim to fame. But one day, I'm talking with, because I toured with Three Dog Night a bunch of times, and I was talking with Jimmy Greenspan, who was a keyboard player in the band, and we got to talking about stuff years later. And I told him a story about, Dan and I did this song called Smell of Incense. And he went, wait a minute. Was that you guys? I said, yeah. I said, hey, do you know this song? And he goes, John, I was the keyboard player in the West Coast Pop Art Experimental Band.
Wow.
Of course I know that song.
Wow.
I said, gotta be kidding me, Jimmy. I mean, man, you just kind of keep rubbing elbows with people, you know?
Was he a cousin too?
No, but I mean, he might as well have been. He's a good guy.
Everyone needs to go on YouTube and listen to Smell of Incense. It's a great song. It's a really cool song.
It's, you know, one of those Black Latin Parachute songs.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. You met so many people back then. That must have been a cool time for you, huh?
You know, it really was. Because, again, you're out with people that you've heard about or you've admired. And you have little fruit things happen. I remember the freakiest thing that I ever had happen was we had an engineer on the first record that Dan and I did. His name was Henry Louis.
Right.
And Henry was German, and, you know, he'd been in the industry for a long time. He was a meditation guy, so he'd get a little bit tired, and then everybody would break, and he'd do his meditation. So he was done with that, and it was just he and I in the studio, and waiting for everybody else to come back, and we just kind of, you know, making a conversation. He said, John, he said, how do you really, I mean, you know, who's somebody that you think is a really good artist now? And I said, Henry, I said, man, I like odd people. I said, you probably never heard of her, but there's this one girl who just knocks me out, man. I think she's probably one of the greatest lyricists and melody people I've ever heard in my life. I said, have you ever heard of Joni Mitchell?
Huh.
And he looked at me and he said, are you kidding me? And I said, no, man. I said, she's great. And he goes, John, I produced her.
Oh, jeez.
She's playing over here at A&M on Saturday, 2 o'clock. Come over.
Oh, man.
And so I went over and watched her record 2 songs on the Blue album.
Yeah.
Last time I saw Richard and All I Really Want. I just missed James Taylor by about 30 minutes or so.
Right.
As he came in. And you run into people like that all the time. So we opened up for Carole King when she was right in the middle of the Tapestry thing.
Oh, man.
They had us play at the Troubadour for a week with her. Then she took us to New York, to Boston with her. And then we ended up going to New York with Seals and Cross and Elton John. We ended up picking up a show for Dan Hicks and the Hot Licks and canceled out on Elton to do tonight's show.
Right.
And then Elton ended up taking us to England with him for a month.
Wow.
I mean, it was just such a magical time for Ed. You know, those guys everywhere, they were just some of the best guys, you know, Chicago, and it just went on and on. And so we had a really, really interesting little time there. 3 Dog Night in Japan. I mean, it was great.
Didn't you play on the same stage with Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, we did. Eventually opened for them back in Texas. We were in the band, the FOB, back during the psychedelic thing. And they'd come into Dallas to play, and we were one of the local bands that, we had the hit record and stuff, the semi-hit record, and we played with them, we opened for them.
Wow.
And also in Houston, too. We did 2 shows, one in Houston and Dallas.
Man, oh man. Is all this in your book?
Oh, yeah. A lot of it. The thing is the book is really a collection of the funny things that happened on the road. It's not about drugs, sex, and rock and roll. I mean, you can read anybody's book.
Yeah.
It's just about the ridiculously funny things that would go on. And I'm thinking about either updating it or writing a new one because I just have stuff happen to me on a continual basis that I just laugh at. And I tell these stories on the road, on stage. And it's great to watch the audience connect to them and just laugh a lot, too.
Well, I try to get these stories out of a lot of artists, and sometimes they're reluctant because they can't say.
Well, I tell you, I sat down one time. There was a guy, Albert Stevens, and he was in the band with us back in Texas. And so he ended up coming out of California. He played with us and Seals and Cross. He played with Belinda Carlisle, Randy Myers, all these guys. So we all had a little reunion back in Dallas a good number of years back. And so he and I sat with the other guys in the band, but he and I were the only ones that could connect. And I said, Albert, man, I tell you, I'm reluctant to tell people stories anymore because they look at me like I'm the biggest liar in the world. And he said, John, I don't tell anybody anything. They look at me the same way. I go, but we actually did those things. So he goes, I know, but you just can't tell anybody. They don't believe you.
I love a good story though. Even when I do the interviews, if I can get one funny story, I'm happy. Well,
I'll tell you one that's not in the book.
Okay.
It happened to me. I figured out going to Baltimore one time, a couple of years ago, we were playing at the Rams Head. We used to deal with Terry Sylvester from the Hollies. Terry and I used to do a thing with Jimmy Griffin out of Bread. And so, Jimmy passed away, and Terry and I occasionally play together. So I'm up, and I figured out why Robert E. Lee never attacked up in Maryland. And it was because within inside of 15 minutes of crossing the border, he and the entire Confederate Army would have been irretrievably lost. Even without a GPS. There's no way to find anything up there. So anyway, I finally get over to Annapolis where I'm playing. And when I go into the town, the GPS stops, and I come to a circle. It's got a big church in the center. And so there's 4 streets, 4 directions, but there are no street signs. So I was going around and around this thing. I mean, I felt like I'm forever condemned on the circle line. And I just went around and said, it must have been 30 times. Finally, I see this guy over on the side. He's sitting on a park bench, and by golly, the guy's playing a banjo. And I thought, he's got to be local. He's got to which way I'm going to go. And so I rolled down the passenger window, pulled up to him, and before I could say anything, he yelled out, "Don't quit now, kid. You're in second place."
Oh, jeez. That's funny.
It was funny. I got to write that down.
Yeah, write that down for the next book. You know, Maryland's my old stomping grounds.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
Did you finally figure out how to get out of there?
Finally, yeah. You know, after there was a tornado that hit. I was in southern Maryland in Waldorf, and La Plata, Maryland, got hit with a major tornado, tore the town apart. And then we had the incident with the, you remember the sniper, that guy used to hide? Yeah.
Or something?
And that was it for me. I said, I'm getting out of here, man. And then my daughter wanted to go to FSU, so that's how I got out of Maryland. But, yeah, I was actually a DJ, a top 40 DJ in Annapolis over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you know that church in the town with the roundabout over by the Rams?
Yes, I do. I used to go to Rams Head all the time. Yep. That's a cool club.
Yeah, I played there all the time with Terry. That's the only time I've played there.
Yep. Here's a question for you, since you're from Dallas. I have to ask, where were you when Kennedy got shot?
I was in my 9th grade drafting class with Mr. Smith.
Wow, you remember?
My mom actually worked at Sanger Harris downtown.
Right.
She was at the shoe department, and she stepped out to see him when he passed by. And so then when he
So did she see the whole thing?
No, she didn't see
okay.
the shot. She just saw him as he passed by in the motorcade.
Yeah.
She went back into the store.
Wow.
But I think everybody that lived in Dallas remembers exactly where they were when that happened.
What did school resume the next day, or was that all?
No, they let us out.
They let you out, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's another thing to remember.
Yeah.
I mean, we always storyline our lives with that incident. You know, where were you when you got shot?
Well, the thing is that we were kind of young. I was in the 9th grade, so
right.
I was 14 or so, 15 maybe.
Yeah.
And it didn't really register for us. We weren't involved in politics at all, so it was something that we had never heard of other than the Kennedy assassination, and we were all very familiar with that. But
yeah.
Other than that, no, we were just kind of like, oh, really?
Yeah. Well, when it happens in your own backyard, you know, it's something.
Yeah, there was a stigma that was attached to that for a really long time because people associated Dallas
right.
That assassination.
Yeah.
So no matter where you went, you know, when you said, well, I'm from Dallas, it was like, oh.
Right, exactly. Well, you guys, you know, made so many hits, you know, and I was on the air when you had most of those hits, so I especially Love Is the Answer. I played that thing over and over. I love that song. And
yeah, I think of all the songs that Dan and I did, that was probably our favorite single.
Really?
And you know, all these other songs, the way that I look at it, is God just kind of reached down and kissed us on the head.
Right.
So I'd like to take credit for it, but somehow I don't think I had much to do with it.
Yep.
You know?
Well, you guys made Todd a lot of money with that song, huh?
Todd made us a lot of money, too, and gave us a good song.
Yeah.
So I was always a Todd Rundgren fan.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, he played down in the Bacchanal a couple of years back, and
right.
I went over and saw him.
Yep.
He just played by himself, piano, guitar, sometimes, you know, vocal, sometimes computer, and it's still the most memorable concert that I've ever been to.
He's a nice guy. I've had him on twice, you know, and really nice guy. You know, he'll sit and talk with you all day if you want. But
there's a lot of really good people in this industry that, I mean, Todd should have been a whole lot bigger than what he was.
Yep.
And you just don't know why things happen the way that they do. But I'm so thankful for that song because, again, it was such a classy song to begin with.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm very thankful for that.
And
thank you, Todd.
And, of course, I'd really love to see it tonight. I guess that's the one that really got it going for you guys, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a very interesting one because when we heard it, you know, Dan and I really wanted to write our own song.
Right.
And this was one that was done by Parker McGee.
Right.
And so they talked us into it. We thought it was more of a female song. And so then we did it. And, you know, the truth be told, most people don't realize that when you go into the music industry, you're actually trying to make a living.
Yep.
And I think so far we've made like $1.90 a year on all the songs that we have done. So we did this one song with Parker, and all of a sudden I saw that first royalty check, and I found myself going, Parker, hey, buddy, what else you got?
That's funny. That's great. Well, a lot of people made a healthy living just on cover tunes, you know?
Absolutely, they did.
Yeah.
But, you know, the thing is you can't write everything on your own. Periodically, you'll have somebody that has that gift. But, I mean, if a good song comes your way, take the good song.
Yeah, yeah. I had a conversation with Tom Rush, and, you know, I just love it when you have, a guitar player up there on stage by himself with a story. You know, there's nothing better than that, you know?
That's what I do now.
Yeah, that's what you do.
The book, having all the stories, all these things that go on, plus having the new record.
Yep.
I mean, at one time we were searching for songs to play, so you end up having to do a cover.
Right.
Now I'm searching for a way to fit all the songs that I would like to play in the hour and a half to 2 hours that I play. Normally they've got me up with the 90 minutes. I very seldom ever play 90 minutes.
Right.
I normally play closer to 2 hours.
Yep.
And I still don't get all the songs that I want to play, so I have to switch them off.
Well, your latest album called Eclectic, I gave it 5 stars, man. It's a lot of music. You got 2 CDs out there. You got Vince Gill on the album. You got Colin Ray, Jamie O'Neill. You got a lot of great players on there, and the women are awesome.
Well, the thing that was really gratifying is that, you know, when you call people up that you've known, you've worked with, and some of them, you know, you're kind of nice friends with, and you ask them if they'll do it, and they immediately go, "Who do you want me to come?"
Right.
I mean, that's really a very gratifying situation. And it's like Vince, when we wrote that song, I waited for a long time to get together with him to write that one song. And it changed a little bit because it was supposed to be two guys that were fighting over the same girl. And we kind of changed it. And Vince is known for singing on everybody's records. Right. You know, I didn't ask him to sing. I asked him to come and play. Mm-hmm. And he was really excited about that because, again, he's such a terrific guitar player. To have somebody ask you to come up and play is better than singing.
Yep.
So he was very happy about that.
Had a lot of favorites. Here We Are Again. I love that tune. Nice piano.
That was written with Bill Champlin from Chicago. That was the oldest record on that, the oldest song on that CD. 1982.
Your vocals were great. Could have been a hit back in the top 40 days, for sure.
You know, when I played that song for Kyle, an old producer, after he and I split, he said, "John, man, why didn't you do this when you and Dan were together? This was a great song for you guys."
Yep. Yeah, that's a great tune, man. I loved it. Another fun track, Cottonmouth Grove, Scat Springs.
Oh,
yeah. Little slide guitar.
Great. Yeah, the other thing is it's called eclectic because when Dan and I used to go to the recording companies, we play our songs and they'd look at us and go, "Well, what are you guys? Country, folk, pop, classical, rock? What are you?" We go, "Yeah, pretty much." You know, and so it didn't take us into a hole. And it took a long time. So this album is that way. I mean, you got Here We Are Again. It's got one flavor to it, and then Cottonmouth Grove is very swampy.
Right.
And then the thing with Venus is, I mean, you know, it's kind of more country deal, and it's just all over the place music. I tell everybody that this album has everything but Little Winnie and Disco Polkas on Backbeat on 5 and 7, you know. So.
Yeah, but, you know, the musicianship is there. I mean, you know, it's not overproduced like music is today. It's just good music, you know.
Plain and simple. Very much.
Plain and simple. I like your collaboration. Is it Lydia? Is it Sanikova?
Lydia Sanikova.
Right.
One of my favorite people. She's a Russian girl.
Yep.
And I met her when she was about 19. And I thought, you know what? I'm staring the new Sade in the face.
She's great.
She was in a group called Bering Street.
Right.
Girls, Natasha, and I mean, I absolutely just adore that girl, and her voice just knocks me out. So I asked her to do 2 songs on the record. And as a matter of fact, she and I did a song a couple of years ago, and I'm thinking about going back in and doing a new one. It was one called, what's the name of it? Anyway, she sang it on the demo, and I love that demo so much. I'm gonna record this thing, but I'm gonna have her sing it.
Oh, great! That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
And I'll sing harmony to her.
Yeah. Wow, you guys make a great duo. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, the voice is grand.
Yep.
And she's as sweet as she can be. And I was one of her sponsors for U.S. citizenship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wrote letters and stuff for her. So I'm hopefully getting to hear from her someday. She's truly a phenomenal artist.
Yeah, I noticed her right away. I noticed some other things about some songs. Dreaming All That You've Got, to me, in the beginning, sounded a little bit of Steely Dan. There's that eclectic thing you're talking about.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of funny. There's some other things. People have said, you know, that one or another kind of sounds like Bruce Hornsby. I said, listen, I've got tapes that can prove that I was playing like Bruce Hornsby before anybody knew who Bruce Hornsby was.
I believe that.
So,
yeah.
I've been doing that stuff for
a long time, yeah. You know, it's funny when people are spotlighted like you and Dan, sometimes they forget there was a past before that band,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And when you dig in deep and say, yeah, this guy's been around since the early 60s, and...
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is that we pass a lot of that up because you don't really hear them.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they come up and people go, well, where are they? I've never heard of these guys before.
Yeah. You play piano on this as well, right? On these tracks?
Yeah, I played all the piano on this.
You play beautiful piano. Well, you're classically trained, I know, so you can play anything.
Yeah.
To Feel That Again was a gorgeous track. That one and Wildflower Eyes, I love both of them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was more the acoustic side of things. And actually, the guy, because Colin Ray sang on that song, oh, geez, I'm sitting here drawing blanks on songs. There's so many of them. But the guy that wrote that song with me is Colin Ray's piano player, Gene Sage.
Huh.
And one day I was in Los Angeles. I was going to Bakersfield, I think.
Right.
And on the bus going over to the car rental place, I struck up a conversation with the lady and her husband. Well, she said, well, did you ever know Gene Sage? And I said, I did. He worked with Colin, and he and I wrote a song together. And she went, Gene died about a year or so ago, saving a woman who was drowning in the Caribbean. And then he saved her, but he drowned.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
What? I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then when Colin came over and he found out that, he was singing on the song that Gene and I had written, he kind of got a little teary.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's kind of interesting the way things kind of come full circle.
Yeah, it is. The other song, you and Lydia, On My Own, another beautiful track. And
that's one of my favorite songs. It's a very moody.
Yep.
Yeah, almost. Well, sometimes I kind of get in some of my what I refer to as ecclesiastical kind of a mood. It's a pretty song. I do enjoy that song, and I love her voice.
Yeah. Like I said, man, you guys are good together.
Well, thank you.
You really are. I wanted to ask you about Quiet Victory. That's a song for the Holocaust survivors, and It's an instrumental. How did you guys come up with that? Wasn't that done with you and Dan?
No, not at all.
Oh, not at all.
Holocaust.
Uh-huh.
But this one was more. What happened was I study a lot of history.
Right.
And then in the show of the Holocaust is one of my time periods. And as a matter of fact, I met quite a number of survivors, and I friends with a number of children of survivors, and I study in the synagogues all the time. I'm a believer, but I love to study in the synagogue. So I'm around that, and one day I was reading a story about a man at Auschwitz,
right,
and how every morning that he would wake up, he would go, I won. And he survived another day. I won.
Huh.
And that so moved me, and I thought, it's a quiet victory. And so that instrumental song came out of that one story.
That's interesting. Yeah. Huh. There are some idiots today that don't believe that happened.
Yeah, well, there was this old guy that I actually met him at the synagogue, and he had been, he was a 21-year-old lieutenant under Pat, and he was one of the liberators of Buchenwald, and he was Jewish.
Yeah.
And so he said, here I am trying to explain to, these 17, 18-year-old kids about what we're seeing here, and he says, I'm shook. And he looked at me and he says, after Buchenwald, I never took any more prisoners. And I said, And he said, you know what I mean? And I said, I do. And he says, I didn't take prisoners after Buchenwald.
Wow.
So it's, you see a lot of things. So when people say, no, I've got another friend, his father was at Buchenwald as well. And he showed me a bunch of pictures, and I made copies of them. And you go, come on, guys. And you just go to, Yad Vashem sometime. I mean, like I said, I've studied that for a very, very, very long time. But Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, you go through there, I was numb about a third of the way through. And then one of the guys I was with said, "Quick, come over here. I got to show you something." I went over in the Cocoa section, and he said, "The man right there, that was my mother's uncle." And I went, "Jeez, man.
Wow.
Gosh."
Huh.
So,
yeah, Gene Simmons and his mom had I know she just passed recently. They had an interesting story. I think they let her go because she could do hair or something. But I think they killed her mom, or his grandmother.
Well, I said, somebody, a friend of mine, sent me the book of the Nazi Titanic.
Right.
About Capricorn. And I've heard about it, but I wasn't really familiar with it. It's a floating concentration camp.
Yeah.
And they used it in the movie that they were trying to make called the Titanic.
Right.
It's supposed to be a propaganda piece. But, I mean, man, it was the most terrifying book I've ever read.
Really?
I've read a lot of that time period and the formation of Israel and things like that. And, man, that book just shook me to my core.
Wow.
So,
yeah, my father-in-law was stationed in Germany. He was in the army, and he showed me some pictures. He was in the infantry,
yeah.
World War II, and he showed me pictures of dead German bodies stacked up, way up in the air. He showed me a lot of stuff that I was really surprised at. My dad, I take care of my dad. He's 94. He was he's a Marine Corps vet. He was in Saipan and Okinawa, and
man, that was the other ugly side.
Yeah,
both sides had to be horrifically hard. But I mean, when I look at what the Marines went through over there, jeez,
I know. Greatest generation, that was the greatest generation. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. That's for sure.
No, that's true. And the thing is that we don't recognize still what they did.
Yeah.
And I'm a very big pro-military guy.
Right.
Because again, those people do not get the respect that they deserve.
Yep.
So we always thank them. I play soldier in the rain for those that were in Vietnam when I played. And there's some places that people just don't appreciate that at all.
Yeah.
And there are other places. I mean, I always say it. I think, well, if I'm going to make a couple of people angry, I'm not trying to. That's not the object of the exercise. But
right.
It's just honoring those. Because, again, like you said, it would be a different world if those men hadn't gone out there and done that. And they didn't want to go. Come on.
That's right.
They wanted to live their lives, too. But this got thrust upon them. So...
I just can't imagine being like in Normandy or something, and being on the beach, being shot at, and getting hurt, and waiting for the medic.
My dad was a medic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a hospital worker and stuff. And so I was talking with the guy the other night, because again, when you're in battle, you may lose 1, 2, 3, 4, and you see the wounds. But Daddy told me about the times that they would go down to the trains and take the bodies off, and when they open the door, the wounded off. And so I thought, what? He's getting this from every angle. He's getting it every day.
That's right.
It just comes out.
Yeah.
And he talked to me, about, assisting in the amputations from frostbite and his first autopsy and things like that. And you go, my goodness, man. And then you don't have any questions as to why now you remember him always out taking in the garden.
Those guys were amazing, They were really amazing back then. They didn't carry a gun, did they, the medics?
I don't know. I think some of them did.
Did they?
If I were a medic, I'd certainly...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're out there to save lives. And, I was talking with a guy not too long ago. He was talking about what the code was and everything. And I said, well, you know what the number one rule of the war is, don't you? And he said, well, you should do da-da-da. And I said, no, the number one rule of the war is you come home alive with all your body parts intact. That's the number one rule.
Yep. That's it. Just can't imagine.
No.
John, I wanted to, you did some acting, didn't you?
Oh, I did. I had a good fun time with that.
You and Susan Blakely?
Susan Blakely, our kitchen scene ended up on the cutting room floor.
Uh-huh.
And it's really funny because here I am, I'm making out with Susan Blakely, who is an absolute doll.
Yep.
I mean, I love Susan.
I agree.
She's a sweetheart. But her husband is sitting right across on the other side of the room watching this, and I'm like, oh, man, come on, stop.
Oh, geez, that's tough.
And my wife is pregnant back home, and I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, it's tough. I'd feel the same way. And you push Corey Feldman down the stairs.
Yeah, pushing down the stairs. I actually threw him down. When I got there, I was supposed to be scheduled for 3 days.
Right.
And 2 weeks later, I'm still sitting there and haven't had scene one. So my first scene actually is with Corey, and I'm supposed to just kind of throw him down on the ground. Well, he's all buttoned up. He's got pads on underneath the shirt and everything else.
Yeah.
And I just did the old karate thing and grabbed him and just put him on the ground. And the only thing they hear was, and the guy looked at me and said, John, maybe you ought to do it a little bit more gently. And I went, yeah. So that's what happens when you get 2 weeks worth of pin-up, frustration here. So.
Yeah.
But Corey was a good kid. I got along with both those boys really well. Corey and Corey Feldman.
Right.
I mean, you run across some really good people.
Yeah. Did you like the acting gigs?
I really did.
Did you?
I mean, it's kind of like, I've had people ask me, do you like music or acting better? It's kind of like saying, do you like your mom or your dad the most? I enjoy them both. The thing that's great about acting is you get day plays.
Yeah.
And so they've always got new jokes, and you got 2 or 3 days. I mean, my favorite story was the fact that we were recording on scenes from the Gold Mine, the first film, and the girl that gets kicked out of the band was Pamela Springsteen. It was Bruce's sister.
Really?
And so she comes in, she got 2 days worth of work, and she and I hit it off like brother and sister. I mean, it was like we were cloned at the hip. Just a sweet girl. And she was sitting there telling me, I've been trying really hard. I'm trying to break out from under Bruce's shadow because everybody knows me as his sister.
Right.
And it's not as easy being his sister. So I'm working really hard. I'm training. I'm studying. I'm doing all the things, taking as many jobs as I can get and stuff to perfect the craft to be believable. And so the next day, she comes running in and she sees me and she runs right up to me and she goes, John, I talked to my brother Bruce last night. He knows who you are and he loves your music. He said he'd love to get together and maybe write with you sometime. Maybe you guys could sing something together sometime. And he told me to give you his number. And I said, really? And she said, no, I was just happy. But tell me, did you believe me? I was looking really hard.
That's funny.
So, I can see it now, Rolling Stone. John Ford Coley kills Bruce Springsteen.
That's funny. You did it's funny because America's Most Wanted I had a business in D.C., retail electronics, and we had some section there with like cables and wires and things. America's Most Wanted came to me and said they wanted to film in my store. And I turned them down. I said, I didn't want you guys here. They were going to pay me, but not enough, But you played a drug dealer who was killed by his partner, right? And
that was a real kind of interesting thing because I got the part.
Right.
I auditioned and got the part. And so we were preparing on that Sunday morning to shoot the first films. And we're up where the murder occurred. And I'm lying in the guy's blood because I was one of the guys who got killed by the guy that they were looking for.
Right.
And so we're in the trailer and the policeman comes in and he goes, John, he says, I'm really sorry. He says, I had no idea this was going to happen. But Vance's daughter, the guy Vance I was playing,
right.
So his daughter is coming. She wants to tell you things about her dad. I thought, oh man,
yeah.
How do we do this?
It's heavy.
Because again, I'm looking at all the police records on this guy, and he's not a good guy. He's breaking teeth on women and doing all kinds of drugs, and so I get with her, and she wants to tell me all the great things about her dad. Mm-hmm. Now, how am I supposed to remain true to the character that's been presented, and then not destroy this young lady's, the idea of what her father was?
Right.
And it was a pair. it was one of the fastest captures. They got the guy in like 90 minutes.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
so the thing is that he was in custody, a whole hour plus before he even showed on the West Coast where we were. So I mean that was a great thing.
It was the most fastest capture in the show's history, is what I understand.
Right.
Yeah. That's great. You did a wonderful job then.
Well, I think, somebody turned him in.
Yeah.
He was in custody.
Wow. And one of your last films, I guess, was Christmas in Hollywood?
Yeah, that was fun. I'm supposed to be, a rookie cop.
Right.
I guarantee I look like a rookie. And so we're doing this, and I, for some reason, it was a serious role, and I think everything turned it into a comedy. So that was fun. That was a fun day. That was with Bernie Higgins, the guy who did Casablanca.
Right.
Casablanca, yeah. We had it on like Bohemian. Anyway, he was the director on that. So it's the first time that I'd met him, although we had mutual friends.
Right.
And we had a good time on that show.
Bernie Higgins, was that Key Largo? No.
Key Largo. That was it.
Yeah, that was a good song. Good song. Are you still doing any acting, or do you want to do any more acting?
I do if it comes along. I just had a friend that told me that I turned one down last year because it was a thing called Bill Tillman and the Outlaws or something, and I just didn't have the time to do it because we were touring every day, and they have a shooting schedule. But I've got one that might be coming up. A friend of mine wrote a book about, I can't think of the name of it, Jack Grossman, and it's about a young girl that was a Holocaust survivor, her story.
Right.
And he wrote to me the other week, and he said, start practicing your Russian. I think,
jeez.
So that's going to be very, very good.
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anne Frank, as a kid, that's one of the stories you read. And for the life of me, all these years, I did not know she was killed in the camp. I didn't know that.
Died in Auschwitz, and she didn't die too far out from the time that Auschwitz was liberated. They pulled everybody out of there.
Didn't she die from sickness?
I think so. I'm not really that familiar with the stories. Kind of drawing a blank that kind of start to run together, but I think she might have. I don't think she was killed.
Yeah, I thought she got away. That's what I always thought. But
yeah, I know. I had a couple of people that I knew that had been on the death march. Really? Out of Auschwitz. One of the guys was in the synagogue in, he was in Charleston, and I was always kind of nervous about talking to him. He had the survivor tag on his coat, and so one day, just before we moved out of Charleston, he was sitting, or I was sitting down eating kiddush for lunch, and he sat down next to me. And he's got like 93, 94, something like that now, and so I just kind of started talking to him, and I said, well, what did you do when you came to America? And he said, I was a CPA. I said, so you were in accounting? He goes, nah, cleaning, passing, and alterations. This dry cleaning thing. And I thought, now that's funny. Funny.
You can only say that when you're 90-some years old,
Absolutely.
That's great. You are a true Renaissance man. Not many people I can tell that, because you also wrote television themes, right?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Man, oh man, you wrote let's see, something with Dr. Pepper, I think.
Dr. Pepper, we had James at 16.
Yeah.
Did a thing with Paul Newman on Keep Your Smile when they were trying to make coffee,
right?
Not just a luxury drink in Japan.
Really?
The one that I got the biggest kick out of was recently, they send us requests all the time to be in films, and I normally just sign off on them because it's free money, the way I look at it's mailbox money. And so they had this thing, and it was called Fear the Dead, or Fear the Walking Dead, or something like that. And I laughed, and I went, gee zombie movies. Okay, I hate zombie movies. So it's fun. So anyway, they sent me a deal, a trailer on this Fear of the Dead. It's up on YouTube now. And in the middle, you got people killing one another. They're killing zombies. They're stabbing them. They're shooting them. They're doing everything they want. Blood and gore is everywhere. And then all of a sudden, I'd really love to see the night starts up. And I'm looking at that going, what the double hell is that, man? It's like, where did you get, how did you, who signed off on this thing? So it's like, I just laughed, and I thought, you know what? I never thought the commercial that they did when they were trying to get everybody to start eating baked potatoes in Canada, and you got the baked potato and the sour cream and the butter, on the conveyor belt going up to the person to check out. And I thought, I'll never get over that image. But man, this Walking Dead thing, yep, that took it.
That's funny. Man, yeah, I was never a big fan of the Walking Dead stuff either,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't watch TV that much anymore. I mean, I'll pick up occasional thing on Netflix.
Right.
Or TV, and I just don't do it.
I could see you being in big demand now, though, with HBO, Netflix, and because it's a kind of a resurgence in television. Mainstream regular cable sucks, and they're on the way out, man. You get a Roku, and you're in business. You get anything you want. You binge watch,
Well, the last thing that we were actually on in that regard was the vinyl series.
Right.
And it was really, it was just such a fun day because I hear about it, and I go, well, okay, that's kind of fun. They're going to use the Simone. So I get a call from the lady, and she said, because I was talking with Dan's manager, Tony, and he was telling me about all of it. And so I get a call from the lady, and she said, well, we need a license for the song, Simone, and also a likeness release. And I said, what do you need a likeness release for? And she said, well, there's two guys that are going to be playing you and Dan in the studio because you're going to be singing the song.
Right.
And the producer's going to be there and stuff. And I said, wait a minute. You got two guys playing Dan and I in the film? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, here's my terms. I'm not going to sign anything unless you get the guy that plays me to be like a younger version of like Robert Redford. He's straighten my teeth. And so she's laughing. And so, it's really funny because Tony comes back and he goes, I don't know, John. He says, this script, man, they're beating the hell out of you guys. And I said, yeah, well, I read it too. And from what I'm getting, the producer is a real jerk. And that's what they're really trying to promote.
Yeah.
And so they called the writer and he said, no, man, don't pull out. He said, John's right. He says, we're showing that the producer is really a creepy guy.
Right.
And that was the one, it's like the third series, that was the one that Alice Cooper almost, seems like he's going to kill him.
Right.
And, so Danny's family's really upset, the way that Danny was portrayed. He said, they beat us up. And I said, man, they beat everybody up.
They do.
Nobody got out of that series alive.
Yeah.
So they just stomped on everybody. So I didn't feel like they were just picking on us.
What was Mick Jagger was involved in that or something, right?
Yeah, he and Martin Scorsese too.
Yeah, I'm surprised, with Mick involved that, because, I'll be honest, a lot of the characters, they didn't look anything or act anything like the real people, you know?
Well, the thing is also that series went off in a year.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good series.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brutal as far as how they treated people.
Yeah.
But, you can't have that kind of dirt and desperation all the time. You expect people to have any connection to it.
Well, I'm a real aficionado of music, man. I go way back, and I take everything to heart,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that, during that time period, it was really funny because I was talking with one lady, and she said, John, that stuff's really great. She said, was the music industry like that? And I said, no, they were sugarcoating. This is a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
But, I did the thing, when I did the scenes from the Gold Line film, that was brutal. There's Joe Pantoliano Fabiano from Sopranos, and who was that? Alex Rocco was in that guy, that Mo Green and The Godfather.
Right.
He was my friend. That was how I ended up getting in the film. Steve Railsback from Charles Manson and Helter Skelter, and Timothy B. Schmidt was the bass player in the band. I was the drummer, and so it was like I said, it was pretty dark.
Yeah.
And we went down to a film. It was a film festival in Houston, and I was reading some of the reviews from it, and they said these people don't know anything about music.
Right.
Music industry is not like that.
Right.
It's a bad representation of what the music industry is. And when I read that, I thought, great, man, all my experiences have been null and voided by you. So it's nice to know that some writer who's never been in it has a really good eye-opening understanding.
Yeah, exactly. You know what was a good portrayal was when they did the Beach Boys. The actors that played the Beach Boys, they did a pretty good job on that. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I didn't. I pretty much stopped watching a lot of it.
Yeah.
Again, it just got, they're trying to make the guy crazy. And
Right.
Stuff, so I just kind of bowed out of it.
Yeah.
I don't even own a copy of it. I guess I should get a copy of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really funny. I had people ask me, what was it like to have somebody actually play me in a film?
Right.
I remember it was an interview in England. And I remember telling him, well, I don't know of any of the girls that I went to school with that are saying, wow, I wish I'd have gotten him.
That's funny. Oh, man. John, here's a question I ask everybody, and I get an interesting answer from everybody, surprising answers. If you had a Field of Dreams wish like the movie to
I'm sorry, what was that again?
If you had a wish, like Field of Dreams, I always like Field of Dreams, the movie, because Doc Archibald, Moonlight Graham, and all that. He had one wish, and he wanted to go back to play baseball again. But as a musician, to perform or collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would you pick?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people. That's if I had one wish to go back, it would be the fact that when we got in there, we kind of got involved in the Seals and Cross plan fields, and we didn't really get out. So my one wish would be able to get out of that and start writing with a lot more people.
Right.
I didn't pick that up until about 83, and after I left the two sisters, Leslie and Kelly. But I really wish that I'd have gotten out with more people. I think Bill Champlin and Terry Chater were two of the guys that I worked with, but I would have loved to have worked with a whole lot more.
Jim Seals, Dash Crofts, and what happened to those guys?
Well, Dash is he's actually raising horses out in West Texas. They didn't play together for a long time after that. Jimmy was playing the band for a while. They had a thing called Seals and Seals.
Right, I remember that.
But, Jimmy ended up, I think he's pretty sick for a while. I haven't really kept up with Jimmy. I haven't talked to Jimmy since Dan's funeral. And so, everybody kind of goes off on their separate ways. At a certain point, you can't revive it. I know that one time when Dan had gone into the country field, we had the record that came out on Rhino Records, Best Stuff, or the very best stuff, something like that. And so I talked to Dan about doing it, kind of going out and kind of working off of that. And he said, well, it's kind of fearful it might confuse people, this country career and stuff. So I went to find out, so I'm not trying to revive a career. We're just going to go out and we're just going to play. I think the days of reviving a career, that ship's sold.
Right.
Sailed,
Yeah.
And so even with the eclectic thing, I had people coming up saying, look, man, I've got a great hit song. This thing will put you back on the charts. You're dreaming. Ben Steele can't even get on the radio anymore.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I'm doing is I'm playing songs that I really like that I've written all these years.
Right.
So I'm not trying to pull the slot machine handle again. It's just, those days are gone.
Yeah.
Somebody said, would you like to do a remake of Love Is the Answer? I said, no, let somebody else do it. We did it. I don't think I could ever top it.
Right.
So, else and move on to something else. Because I feel like many times you get relegated to the past, and it's a comfortable place to be, but it's not a comfortable place to be at the same time. Because you want to always progress and show people that you're doing something new. I wrote a song for a film called Major League 3 Back to the Minors.
I saw that movie. Yeah.
Okay, so I had the opening song there, and they got about a guy named Phil Claypool to sing it.
Right.
And so he was on Curb Records, and I was introduced to Mike Curb, never met him before. And so he looked at me, and he said, are you still in music? And I thought, hands down, that's got to be the dumbest question there ever been asked. I looked at him and said, yeah, it's more like being in the mob. You put the blood up, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, I said, you've always got your fingers in it somewhere. He's looking for a way to get away from me at that point.
Right.
You know, he's a suit and I'm an artist, and we just don't connect. But I thought, seriously, man, you've always got your fingers in it somewhere. You're doing something. I said, yeah, I wrote the song. Mm-hmm. And he went, uh-oh. And that was, yeah. But it's like, you know, this eclectic CD that I've got, those songs are from like 82 until the last one, which is Wild Horses, that I wrote literally, was the last song that I wrote on this. And you've got all these songs, you're always doing something, you're just not doing it in the public view.
Right.
You're always playing, you're involved in film, I mean, you're writing a book, you're doing something, you're not sitting still, but because you're not in the public eye, you're not on the radio, people pretty much think you're not doing anything, your career's gone, and you're probably, you know, doing something that you really don't want to do. Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot more people are listening to blog radio now. It's getting really, really hot. So, and people.
Well, I think, you know, especially the older style music.
Exactly.
There's a lot of melody.
Yeah.
And people are bless their hearts for YouTube and things like that, because they keep a lot of us alive.
You got a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's so easy now to do the research, you know, and find songs that you've, you know, I'll look back at your past and pick up some songs that I've never heard before, you know, from albums, and this way I can reference when I talk to you about some albums maybe that aren't as popular. But YouTube's a great tool. It really is.
Well, I mean, you know, I was really thankful because I don't keep up in a manner that I should, and I'm in the industry. I'm off on my other things. And one night I was watching a thing on Netflix called The Ranch.
Right.
I kind of got interested in it. I thought it was a pretty good series.
Yep.
At a certain point it stopped. But one night it comes up on the credits, and I don't generally watch the credits. Mm-hmm. But there was this one song, and I'm listening to it, and I went, man, who in the world is that guy? He can sing.
Yeah.
And I liked the song. And so I couldn't get to a chorus that I could lock anything down or title. But there was one line in it, Speed Trap Town. And I thought, that's worth a shot. And I put it up on YouTube. Kid by the name of Jason Isbell. Never heard of it.
There you go.
And I'm sitting there listening to all the things that he's doing, and I happened to look down at the date that this thing was put up on YouTube, and I went, 2013?
Right.
How did I miss this kid?
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, it's some of the best stuff I've heard in a while.
It happens a lot.
So, because he wasn't mainstream radio, or he wasn't on any of these other things. And I mean, Jesus, there's a lot of people out there that I find on YouTube. They're just not my song.
It's funny because I always criticize mainstream radio because, you know, I'm from the old school. But now what I do, my other job, I buy airtime from all these radios, mainstream radio. I work for a company called Circuitalia. It's a traveling circus. And they got a new show called the Paranormal Circ, which is really cool. You know, it's all about paranormal, and it's scary, and it's a rated R show and everything. But we're all over the country, and I buy all the advertising on all these mainstream radio shows. So it's funny that I ended up back in radio that way.
Well, I tell you, man, radio, I think it needs a resurgence because, again, when I was a kid growing up, and even when Dan and I were on the radio, the DJs were kings.
Yes, they were.
They somehow it got lost.
Yep.
And it was, you know, the big stations bought everything, and it went from the top 40 guy, and he was really kind of angry because his name was Greg Killen, and I didn't know who he was. And so they said, well, you know, the song Jeopardy and this song. And I'm, oh, yeah, I know the songs. I knew the song. I'm like everybody else. I know the song.
Right.
I don't know the artist.
Right.
And so he was really angry at me because I said, I didn't know who he was. And it's like, look, about the time you came out, the DJ stopped announcing the acts. Okay, they would play 4, 5, 6 songs, and they would never tell who it was.
Yeah.
So occasionally you might get lucky and hear the name, but I mean, fortunately we were before that. So every time that we played, it was, hey, it's England Dan, John Ford Coley, you know, and it'd go great.
Well, plus it was fun to say your name, England Dan and John Ford Coley. Now, you know what I mean? It was fun saying that. So.
And besides that, it took up time, you know, instead of the Carpenters, you know.
Yeah.
Shooting cross.
Yeah, I was at the tail end of the last really good time for me. I was at like late 70s, early 80s, and you know, I was playing you guys. We had, you know, it was a nice eclectic mix. Donna Summer, you know, we had new wave coming in, the Cars. You know, Rupert Holmes, you know, it was a good time, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was a really good time.
The thing is that there's always somebody new, so there's always good music coming out.
Right.
You can pick and choose what you want.
Right.
But, and then about that time, too, they also did a real separation in the station. So country went country.
That's right.
You know, you didn't hear, you know, a mix of you know, Led Zeppelin and then Kenny Rogers.
Right.
It just didn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you know the big thing, back then we weren't allowed to play more than 4 spots in a row. That's where it got killed. Now you know, you lose yourself in commercials. You don't even know what station you're listening to. You know?
Well, the thing is that the commercials have become such an irritant because the attorney business is really shot up because everybody's afraid of getting sued. So you got a 30-second commercial, but 29 seconds of it's the disclaimer from the attorney.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, it's sad. It really is. I want to mention some of your dates, tour dates. I've got like 5 different websites, music sites, YouTube. I mean, I'm all over the place. I'm a one-man show, so I'm gonna put up these dates on all the sites. But I think your next show is on August 15th. Is that right?
Right, in Hyannis at the Chief Continuity Camp.
Okay, is that a yacht show?
No, that's Rocky Yacht. That was going to be with Ambrosia Lee, Peter Beckett from Player, and Elliot Louie from Looking Glass.
Okay, that's at Cape Cod Melody Tent in Massachusetts. Yep. August 16th, you got another date there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. That's the same people. That's going to be in Cohasset, Massachusetts.
Right. August 17th.
All Boston area kinds of.
All about, August 17th, you're going to be at the Golden Nugget. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, down in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's see. I'm picking out some good dates here. Community Theater.
I think that one's got Stephen Bishop on it as well.
Oh, really? I had Stephen on the show. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Stephen's a good guy. He's funny.
You'll be in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, in Broward County.
Actually, that one got canceled.
Oh, it did?
Ladies Club that one of the guys from one of the bands couldn't play.
Okay.
So, because they had already played in that area.
Right.
So many days before or so many days after, something like that.
Well, that's good to know. So you're not going to be there. You got Biloxi coming up, August 23rd. Yeah. You got Atlantic.
Not people, you know.
Yeah, Atlantic City coming up.
Atlantic City. I think that's going to be. We're playing Morristown as well. That's with Denny Lane from Wings and. Wings and Rudy Blues. He's really in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Denny's a good guy, but Denny a bunch of times.
Let's see, September 13th, you got the yacht show, I believe. That's going to be.
No, September 13th actually is the Fall Fest in Squamish Beach in Westbury, Rhode Island.
Oh, in Rhode Island.
I'm playing with the band a full set. That's with the Criers.
Okay. All right. Got you there. And you're going to be back in Florida. Hopefully this is right. Saturday, November 2nd in Ocala.
Yeah, Ocala.
Yeah, that's not too far from me. That's about an hour and a half. Yeah.
I'm doing a songwriter on the round thing in St. Petersburg on the 1st.
Okay. In St. Pete,
and
really?
I'm also doing about 3 or 4 dates of another rocky yacht thing. It's going to be Bernie for Ambrosia and Mary Harris for Ambrosia. And then we're Peter Beckett.
Right.
And myself. We're doing that. We're also doing another one up in Long Island on the 7th of September. That one's the only first one that is Robbie Dupree. Mm-hmm. And then we're doing another one in, where is it? It's the 26th of September in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh,
that's another rocky outfit.
Yeah, just had a tragedy there. That's a shame. Yeah.
And then I've got the thing at where is it? It's Wildwood, Missouri.
Missouri? Yep.
With Orleans.
Yep. Have you ever played Branson?
I have.
Yeah.
A long time ago with Terry Sylvester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that'd be a good place to, play a few dates.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I enjoyed my time when I was there. Mm-hmm. And they have a really nice theater. So.
John, anything else you'd like to promote or chat about? Can we cover it all?
No, I think you've really done a very good job. You covered a lot of bases in the area.
Thank you. Appreciate that. You're a great musician. You got a great voice. You're certainly one of my heroes. Love playing you guys on the radio when I was doing my top 40 gig. The tour you're doing, there's 2 tours. Congratulations on that. The Rock the Yacht Tour in 2019. And plus, I think you started, didn't you start this tour in Clearwater, Florida at Ruth Eckerd? Was that?
Yeah, we did. About 3 weeks ago, back in July.
Yeah.
July 10th. And then we went to Dallas on the 14th.
That's a great place to play, Ruth Eckerd. You got good fans.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed playing there.
You got good fans.
I got to see a lot of nice people there. It was really funny. There was a guy that they I'd gone into the dressing room back to the sound check, and all of a sudden one of the guys from the hall comes over. He's got another gentleman with him. He had 2 gentlemen with him, and the guy's got a folder, and he says, "John, can we talk to you in private?" And I thought, sure. So he went in, and they said, "Do you know the name of such and such?" And I said, "No, I don't ring a bell." And they said, "Well, he's been asking about us. He knows you. We've got some great concerns about him." And they showed me his picture, and I looked at him, and I went, I don't recognize him really. And so then they were talking about, we're going to keep a guard on you tonight, because this guy didn't seem to have both oars in the water. And I know this guy. I said, he was a cop. And he was in Pennsylvania. He was a highway patrolman in Pennsylvania, and he escorted us around at the Football Hall of Fame, 1978.
Right.
The guy goes, "You got a hell of a memory, but no, he's not a cop." He says he is. And so, I mean, that was the weirdest thing that I've ever had happen to me.
Wow. Man, oh man. So you're well guarded that night.
Yeah, I was well guarded that night. But there wasn't any incidents, and I never even think about that at all.
That's pretty strange. Well, I'm gonna tell my wife to look up you to see if you guys are related.
Oh yeah, well by God, it was probably, you never can tell. It was probably odd.
She's got family in Elizabethtown. Her cousin lives in Elizabethtown, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just had a girl that was on my Facebook, and she had the last name, and I went, I wrote her, and I said, "Look, we're probably related, because that name it's no. If you got that name, we're related." And so we come to find out we were, and she came over and just met her this last weekend, and she came up to the gig in where was it? I was just in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And so now we've got, it's like I just keep finding all these people that are related.
That's amazing.
And I can tell you your history.
Another guy who might be related to a lot of people is Jim Dandy. I had Jim Dandy on the show, and we were talking about the same thing, and he knows Kentucky and Henderson, and.
Well, I'll tell you a funny thing about Jim Dandy. There's a group we were on Stax Records. We were the white division of the label. And there's a thing called HIP.
Right.
And so they had the black, with Otis Redding and all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had the white label. They only had two groups, Southwest FOB, us, and a group called the Nobody Else. Mm-hmm. Well, Dan and I came out of the Southwest FOB, and the Nobody Else changed their name to Black Oak, Arkansas.
Oh, man. That's cool. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, we all touch elbows at some point.
Definitely. Definitely. Hopefully a lot of that's in the book, Backstage Pass, which you can buy at Amazon. Available now.
Oh, you know my website.
Yep.
If you'd like it autographed, I can autograph it.
Okay, I'll send you
my website, johnfordcoley.com.
I'll send you my address. Or I'll send it to Jeff, I guess. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you, John, for being on the show today, man. It's been a real pleasure. And
well, thank you so much. I appreciate you letting me be on here and binge her a little bit.
Well, it's been great. You're a great conversationalist. Good luck on both tours, Rock the Yacht Tour and your tour. I hope to catch you in Florida next time you're here.
That sounds good. Let me know if you're in the area, and we'll make sure you get to the show.
I sure will, man. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, John.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye, man.
Bye-bye. For more information about John Ford Coley, visit www.johnfordcoley.com or www.facebook.com/John Ford Coley page. Purchase the latest release from John Ford Coley. I rated it 5 stars. Lots of great music. 2 CDs entitled Eclectic. You can buy that now at Amazon.com or on his website. Purchase Backstage Pass. Learn about the ins and outs and fun times of rock and roll and being on the road by John Ford Coley. You can also get his book at Amazon.com. The Rock the Yacht Tour is touring, featuring Ambrosia, Stephen Bishop, player lead singer Peter Beckett, John Ford Coley, Walter Egan, and Looking Glass. And they'll be bringing a boatload of greatest hits to a town near you. Very special thanks to Jeff Albright of Rockstar PR for arranging this interview with John Ford Coley, and of course the dynamic duo of Doug and Don Newsom of BBS Radio for making the magic happen for each and every broadcast of Interviewing the Legends. If you have comments or suggestions for the show, contact me at interviewingthelegends@gmail.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Interviewing the Legends with Ray Shasho, for the very latest interviews. It's real news. And don't forget to purchase a copy of my book entitled Check the G's, a true story of an eclectic American family and their wacky family business, available now at Amazon.com. I promise you will live it. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to Interviewing the Legends. Brought to you by the Publicity Works Agency. Call 941-877-1552 or visit us at publicityworksagency.com, specializing in author and music artist publicity plans. We shine when we make you shine. Tune in to Interviewing the Legends every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time on BBS Radio, Station 1.